Hi, everybody. You're listening to Radio Cherry Bombe, and I'm your host, Kerry Diamond, coming to you from Newsstand Studios at Rockefeller Center in the heart of New York City. Today's a holiday, so happy Memorial Day to everybody. Today's guests are Matty Matheson and Michelle Rabin, the duo behind Just a Dash, the cooking show on Netflix that's equal parts chaos and serious culinary chops. I binged season 3 of Just a Dash last night and lots of season 1 and 2, and it was a wild ride. Lots of you know Matty from The Bear, of course. Oh my God, the final season of the show drops June 25th, and I am very sad to say goodbye, as I can imagine lots of you are. We'll find out what Matty is feeling as well. In addition to Just a Dash and The Bear, Matty writes cookbooks, owns restaurants, has a product line. I completely forgot to ask him about his boxed mac and cheese, and I love boxed mac and cheese so much. He is in a punk band. He is a dad to 3 kids and husband to the awesome Trish. He's got a lot going on, and he tells us what drives him to do so much. Michelle is a culinary producer, food stylist, on-screen professional problem solver, and occasional voice of reason who helps keep Just a Dash from flying completely off the rails. She credits Martha Stewart, Donna Hay, and Early Bonap with inspiring her career. She tells us all about Just a Dash, her collaboration with Matty, and shares some good news about what's next for her. I forgot to mention that Matty and Michelle are Canadian, but they are, so they are really sweet folks, and you will love them. And yes, I worked heated rivalry into the conversation. How could I not? Stay tuned for my chat with Matty Matheson and Michelle Rabin. A little housekeeping. This is a fun one for our New York City friends. The Hot Dog Edit is coming to Rockefeller Center, home of our podcast, on Thursday, May 28th. Cherry Bombe will be pulling up in our very first food truck and celebrating our hometown's most iconic street food with some of our favorite local chefs. Sohee Kim of Gage and Tollner and INSA, Michelle Palazzo of La Roque, and Angie Rito of Don Angie and San Sabino. Sohee, Angie, and Michelle have created their dream hot dogs and will be serving them up throughout the day. This one-day-only outdoor pop-up is in partnership with Open Table and Visa. Join us to celebrate the start of the summer, nosh on some limited edition collab treats, and hang with Team Cherry Bombe. Access to the Hot Dog Edit is available via Open Table. Make sure you've added an eligible Visa card to your Open Table account in order to purchase. Also, a limited number of Day of Dogs will be available with an eligible Visa card. We can't wait to see you. Reservations for the Hot Dog Edit by Cherry Bombe, Open Table, and Visa are available through Open Table times Visa Dining Collection for eligible Visa cardholders. Restrictions apply. See terms and conditions. For more information, check out the link in our show notes or head to cherrybombe.com. Today's show is presented by Fisher & Paykel. Let's talk about your kitchen personality. Maybe you're all about slow roasts and playlists, big baking projects on a weekend, never following a recipe, or following them to the last 1/8 teaspoon of salt. You know who you are. However you show up in the kitchen, Fisher & Paykel is designed to meet you there. Founded in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and shaped by a deep respect for nature, Fisher & Paykel is a product design company that has spent more than 90 years rethinking the role of the kitchen. In fact, they've been talking about the social kitchen for decades. This idea that the kitchen isn't just where meals happen, it's where life happens. Fisher & Paykel's appliances, from their ovens and cooktops to refrigerators and wine fridges, dishwashers, and washing machines, are all built to support that. Not as one-off pieces, but as a system that works together so your kitchen reflects how you live, cook, and gather. Fisher & Paykel for all your kitchen personalities. Learn more and find your perfect appliances and lots of kitchen inspo at fisherpaykel.com. Now, let's check in with today's guests. I love the hair. Is that a blowout?
I washed it today, a couple conditions, couple of soaps, and then I combed it. It's just, I've always had really nice hair. It's kind of one of my gifts. I have many, but it's one of the bountiful things that, God gave me.
Well, it's very glossy and profesh looking this morning, so.
Thank you.
You didn't say that about me, so.
Well, your hair looks great.
No, you don't look so good.
Your hair is consistent, Michelle.
She's a young Judith Light. She's a young Judith Light.
I did notice, now that I've watched like almost every single episode of Just a Dash, you two did swap hair colors for season 3.
Yeah.
Because you were blonde, Matty, at one point, and Michelle, you were a brunette.
Yes. Yeah. That's true.
Michelle, I have to ask, are you in your 30s and going through something?
I think when I did initially go blonde, I was in my 30s and I was going through something, but it just stuck. And I was like, you know what? This is who I am now. And I am having more fun. I think that I'm having a better time as a blonde. So it's probably pretty permanent until it gets so badly damaged that I have absolutely no choice but to go back.
Okay, good. Well, we're not going to talk about hair the whole time. And I have to officially welcome you two to the podcast. Michelle Rabin, Matty Matheson, welcome to Radio Cherry Bombe.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
good to
us.
be here.
Such a thrill. Maddie, before you joined us, I was telling Michelle that I watched almost every single episode of Just a Dash last night. And I feel like I maybe did a little permanent damage. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, as it should.
Did you sleep?
As it should.
I did sleep. I wear an Oura ring and I didn't check my sleep time this morning, but who knows? I didn't have weird dreams, though. I thought maybe I would have really weird dreams, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, or like an existential crisis.
That could happen today. It's still early, right? Like I said, binged all of 3, a lot of 1 and 2. And my assessment is that it is easily the most punk rock and unhinged of any culinary show that's out there, but with high production values. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, yeah, it wouldn't work if it was complete crap. So we have to at least make it kind of good. Shout out to Tort and everybody that helped make it. That's the sweet and the sour. We were able to be dumb and lawless within those moments. I think if it was, poorly edited or poorly shot, then it would be an actual turd on fire. We're a glistening, beautiful diamond. So,
Michelle, for folks who haven't watched, how would you describe the show?
Yeah, I think going from how you described it, I think that energy that exists within the rooms that we're filming in is really like the magic of the show, because you kind of forget the cameras are rolling. It just kind of feels like you're hanging out with your friends. And it's the type of friends where the dumber and more ridiculous you are, the more reward there is in the end. It feels like it's a safe place. But then you remember that it's going to be aired to the whole world. And then you're like, damn, like, what did we just do? And I think after every season that we filmed, Matty and I look at each other at the end and we're like, was that okay? Like, what did we just film? And I think that that's kind of the magic of the show, that it feels like something that shouldn't be shown to the world, yet it is. And season 3 obviously is a little bit different than season 1 and 2. In season 1 and 2, that energy is really there. We're just kind of like all locked in a really small room and things just kind of happen. And it's unscripted. We don't know what's going to happen at the end of the episodes. And then something always just happens that's incredibly ridiculous. And so, yes, chaotic, hilarious. I think those are the 2 words that I would describe the show.
And it's shocking how beautiful the food is. I mean, the RV episode, I could not believe. And you made all that in there. There's no trickery in a moving RV.
Yeah, that's how good we are.
The other thing is, it was so much fun to get to know the camera people. And Michelle, you're on camera more, I think, than any other season.
Yeah, especially because like in the previous seasons, there was that fourth wall where the set was kind of the kitchen and Matty. And in this season, everything is everywhere. There is no set. And the fact that we're making a show about making a show is what makes it interesting. And so, I think that there is a lot of people asking, like, was Trish really mad in the first episode? That's what I get a lot. Or like, did you really make that in the RV? Was that real? And that is the magic of the show, that it is all real. Like, yeah, Trish was pissed and we couldn't shoot in the house and the RV is real. And that just makes the show really attractive to people because they're like, is it, isn't it? And there's like a lot of questions that come up.
So I read that you two been friends for a long time. How did you guys meet?
Wow.
Michelle Rabin. There's Trish. Hold on one second. Come here. There's Trishy.
Hi,
Say
Trish.
hi. They just want to know, were you genuinely angry on Just a Dash? Let the people know. Speak into my ear.
What'd Trish say? She was genuinely pissed?
Yeah. She said she had to go and find her inner anger. I helped her find that inner anger because she's usually not pissed. But most of the time, it's like what do you think the split is? How often are you pissed at me for all the stupid stuff I do? She says 50-50. She says it's a 50-50. We flip the coin. Some days are good. Some days are bad. I'm never home. There we go. We're always yearning for each other.
Matt, tell Trish we want to see more of her baked goods on Instagram.
Kerry wants to see more baked. She loves Treats by Trish. Well, she just posted this beautiful She does this toasted coconut cherry square that is all time. It's just mostly condensed milk and like roasted coconut and cherries, but it's fucking holy cow. It is so nice. But what were we talking about?
About how you guys met.
No, I'll start it. Matty was the chef at Parts and Labor. We lived in the same neighborhood. It was a hot restaurant. I used to go. We used to hang out.
Yeah, we've known each other a long time. Michelle was just we were all like young, cool kids. And we had a restaurant that we pretty much set on fire. It was a great, magical time. You know, those mid 2000s, you know, before social media, before everything. We had a really great time. And Michelle was part of our crew that would come and have a great time and friends for life, you know?
I have a question for you guys, though. How much are the folks on the show characters? Because I did plenty of research on you both. And I don't know, there were some episodes where I felt like you were maybe playing characters and not being your true selves, like the wedding episode. I was completely fooled in the wedding episode. You know, as things unraveled, I realized you were like fucking with everybody.
We're mostly fucking with everybody. The whole thing is a fucking joke. We're playing to bits that we find. We know what we want to do, but there's no plan to get there. And so it's just like every episode is very, like even the wedding episode, it turns into this thing. And like Billy Zane, he was in it and then he wouldn't sign the release and then he got tweaked. No disrespect to Billy. I think he believed in the show a little bit, but not enough to, you know, I don't think he was ready to really shine in this light. But it is a thing, like Billy was the homie for a minute and he still, you know, I get it. You know, the love could have been real, but then we had to switch the whole thing. Right? Like all of a sudden it was like one of those things where we bob and weave and when we get knocked down, it's even better. That's the thing is like there is no losing if you're only losing. So it is like a thing, like this whole show is from the mud. We start with like nothing. We end up with everything.
You said it's a joke, but the food is far from a joke.
What? I'm a very good cook.
That's super obvious.
I'm banging this shit out and it doesn't even matter. That's the thing. The more I get fucked, it's harder for me to like allow things to get fucked, to be honest. You know, everyone's like, oh yeah, you're only as good as your tools or you're only as good as your whatever. I'm like, nah, like you're only as good as you are. Like, I don't give a fuck about what I'm cooking with. I'll cook with a boot and a spoon. It doesn't really matter. Either you can cook well or you can't. And once again, the same as the production, if I actually couldn't cook enough to get to the finish line, then it wouldn't be good either. That's why we can be so dumb. It is because the safety net is so strong. You know, the culinary safety net that we've created from the years of discipline and technique that I've learned, it's uncanny. That's why no one can do what I do.
We'll be right back. Today's show is presented by Maza. Maza is a bold, flavor-forward brand founded by sisters Sheila and Yasemin Sajadi, inspired by the recipes they grew up with and the everyday magic of their mom's cooking. Cherry Bombe has gotten to know the sisters over the years, and it's been amazing to see how they've grown their company. Of course, it's because they work so hard and believe deeply in their product and their mission. But none of this would matter if the Maza products were not delicious. Their sauces, cilantro chutney, mango chutney, lemon aioli, and the new chili aioli are bright, punchy, and endlessly versatile. The cilantro chutney is my fave, and I personally think everyone should have a bottle in their fridge. You will put it on everything. Eggs, sweet potatoes, rice, chicken, fish, you name it. Then there are the Maza lentil dips, classic lemon, turmeric ginger, basil jalapeno, and roasted red pepper. They are smooth and creamy and loaded with plant-based protein, fiber, and antioxidants. If you love hummus, give those a try. Maza products are designed to dip, spread, and drizzle on just about anything. One bite and you will get it. Maza can be found nationwide in retailers like Whole Foods and Sprouts. Learn more at maza.com and follow them on Instagram and TikTok at Maza Magic. Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York is the original musical that's connecting us all. Playbill calls it one of the best and most innovative musicals Broadway has to offer. And now, Two Strangers has just been nominated for 8 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. Tony nominees Sam Tutty and Christiane Pitts stars Dougal and Rabin, an unlikely pair who find common ground over 3 wild and wonderful days in New York City. With a score of instant classics and a surprising story that's equally hilarious and heartfelt, Two Strangers reminds us that we have more in common than we may realize, which in the words of Olivier Award winner And superfan Jonathan Bailey is exactly what we need right now. Learn more and get tickets while you still can at twostrangersmusical.com. Tell me how you guys got your start. Michelle, why don't you go? How did you become a food stylist?
I was just really interested in food styling. I've always been a huge fan in my early days of Martha Stewart and Donna Hay and Bon Appetit and just reading magazines. And so it was something that I was always interested in doing. I kind of got my start at a Canadian magazine called Chatelaine. I worked in the test kitchen. And then I started assisting other food stylists. Matty and I started working together when Vice was doing his first in-studio cooking show and they were looking for food stylist, culinary producer. I got scouted to apply for the job. I was severely underqualified for the job. I did get it by lying about
and that's why I made the show so good. Supper Time was a classic show. You know, we did like 21 episodes, I think. Michelle killed it. And that's really the spirit. Her lying to get a job is so iconic.
Matty, how about you? I read that you went to culinary school.
I went to culinary. I went to Humber up in Etobicoke. Went to culinary school. Did like the 1 year chef training thing. And then I did the culinary management the second year. So then the first one was just a certificate. And then I was just like, I kind of want to get a diploma or something. And so then I did the other year. And then I ended up dropping out, 2 weeks left in the whole course. I dropped out and then I just went and lived my life and worked in restaurants, worked at like Le Select Bistro, this iconic bistro in Toronto. And then I worked there and became a sous chef. And then I left there and worked at like La Palette, this other amazing iconic Toronto bistro, worked there. Then I opened Oddfellows when I was like 26. And then I opened Parts and Labor a year later when I was 27 and then a bunch of other stuff. And then, yeah, I've just been like, working in restaurants and doing restaurants my whole career.
Why'd you decide you wanted to be a chef? Or did you even know?
No, I didn't know. I just needed a means to get to Toronto. I wanted to go to the city. It's funny because I live back in my hometown, but I just wanted to live in the city. I wanted to live in the city. I wanted to go to hardcore shows. I wanted to go to, art show. I just wanted to be in culture. That was the thing I was striving for. I wanted to be in a city, coming from kind of a small town. And I applied for different things at different colleges. And I only got accepted into the culinary program. So then I was like, okay, I'll go there. My grandfather had a restaurant for many years, 20 years in Prince Edward Island. But it wasn't like I want to be a chef. I wanted to go to school and be able to get a job, move to the city. And so then I did that. Within that, I found I was decent. I hated high school. I hated high school. I hated school. I was one of those, I just wanted to smoke weed and run around and skip class and do whatever and be a shithead. It wasn't fun for me. It was the first time that I was doing something and I was decent at it. I wasn't good at math. I wasn't good at gym. I wasn't good at geography. I was like, who uses geography? I'm like, what the heck's going on? I was like, oh, this is easy for me. If I try at this, I'm good at this. I can sharpen a knife. I can, culinary school is like, oh, I can make a stock. Cool. I can make béarnaise. I can make a pâté. I can debone a quail. Okay. It turned into something that I was like, this is cool. I embraced it. I like the systems too. I like being like, if you miss class 3 times, you're out. If you're not there 15 minutes early, you're out. And I think it was something that I needed, that I respected it enough where I didn't miss class. No matter what I did the night before, I would be there 15 minutes early. I'd have my chef whites on. I'd have my knives sharp. I'd go turn up to class and be ready for class. And it was something that I really did enjoy. And then I just kept going. When I dropped out, it was just because I was indifferent. My cool punk brain. I was like, I don't need a piece of paper. Cooking is a trade. I have a physical skill I can do. I can go to the end of my driveway and sell sandwiches if I wanted to. I could travel the world and, it's like I could provide a job. I can work and make something. I'm like, I think of cooking is just a trade. I can go and do this in a situation. And so then I just went and found a job and worked at some really great French restaurants.
Did you take to restaurant life pretty naturally?
Yeah, it was the best. I loved it. It's like one of those things coming from a small town. You come from a small town. You go to a big city, all of a sudden there's all these different people working in this restaurant. And I was very lucky. Like Le Select is this iconic, beautiful French restaurant. All these people, these servers, the front of house was so amazing. And the back of house was so amazing. Like truly, it was wild. After hours, just smoking cigarettes and hanging out, drinking chartreuse and drinking fucking wine and learning about fucking jazz, and servers are actors and people are different ages and people are different things. I was just like, oh, this is cool. I'm not just hanging out. I was like a punk art kid in a small town. So I'm like, I don't like anybody that's not like me because they don't like me. And so then restaurants really opened my eyes. I learned how to cook French food from a Vietnamese immigrant refugee. And I learned how to make better cassoulet from Rang than any white dude. So it is like I learned how to cook French food from Rang. I love that that's part of my story and I'm part of his and we love each other. And it's like, but this whole world at Le Select was just primetime Toronto too. Like we were next to the Rivoli, the 360. We were down in like Queen and Spadina. Early 2000s, that was the spot. That whole culture of the restaurants. I didn't have a cell phone, at that time, like it was like I didn't have a credit card. I didn't have anything. I'd show up and work and smoke cigs and drink after and hang out with people. It was the best.
Michelle, did you ever work in restaurants?
I did. I was definitely part of the industry at the same time Matty was working in his restaurants. And I worked front of house mostly. So I was a server.
Were you a good server?
No. I forget things really quick. I'd say I've kind of floated through my whole life because people just kind of like me around, I think. But I certainly wasn't a great server. And when people find out that I was a server for many years, they kind of don't understand. And they're right.
Were you the server who wrote everything down or tried to memorize everything?
No, I just got the orders wrong. What was going on in my head was really different than what was actually happening in reality. So I thought I was doing a great job. Until, I wasn't working there anymore. I think that the energy of the restaurant in general was really different 10, 15 years ago, where there was more community. There was more people kind of going out after a different time, especially in Toronto. Chefs were opening up restaurants with close to no money and just being like, this is it now. Like we have a restaurant. And there was definitely a different vibe than now, where I feel like in order to open a restaurant, you need millions of dollars, and it is different now. And so these little indie restaurants were popping up all over Toronto, and those were the kinds of restaurants that I was working in, and it was amazing.
Matty, how many restaurants do you own these days?
Too many. We got Rizzo's, House of Parm, we got Matty's Patties, Prime Seafood Palace, and then there's like a bunch of Maker Pizzas. We got Iron Cow. Iron Cow's our like British pub we just opened up. There's a couple of restaurants.
Are you going to bring any of your restaurants to New York?
Me? No. Oh, New York doesn't need anything from me. Nah. New York's fine without me. Anytime I do anything, it's one of the, like, I do a book tour, I do a thing all over. And everyone's like, are you going to open a restaurant here? I'm like, no. Restaurants are very difficult. Setting up in a different town that you're not from, first of all, it takes a lot of work. I would never want to open up in a town that like didn't fuck with me, and I didn't fuck with, like, like I wouldn't do it just for an opportunity. I get asked a lot to do things like that, and I'm always saying no. I'm like, it's hard. It's a hard thing, and restaurants are things that I love. Having a couple of restaurants in Toronto and down here in like Crystal Beach is in Hamilton. That's more than enough for me. That's a lifetime of work.
And I'm shocked by how much you do. I mean, you've got the 3 kids, all the cookbooks, the restaurants, cooking shows, the Bear. We'll talk about that in a bit. And you're in a punk rock band, and you were a podcaster. What's that relentlessness to do things, propelling forward constantly?
We got one life. I don't care if people think of me as a chef. I don't care if people think of me as anything. Like I'm not worried about that type of legacy or that type of singularity. I guess I'm like a master of none kind of guy, but I'm pretty good at a lot of stuff that I do. But it still is like a thing that I'm like, I don't want to leave anything on the table. I want to live my life. I want to have a beautiful family. I want to be able to provide for them by doing things that I think are interesting. I've always loved hardcore. And during the pandemic, me and a bunch of my friends that I've known since high school wrote a hardcore album. And then we started playing and we like it. So we're going to keep doing it. I like making things on YouTube. I don't really read anything else. So I'm like, I love cookbooks. So I enjoy making cookbooks. I like doing things that I like. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I think right now I'm chilling out. It's also like I didn't really have restaurants before the pandemic. I had like a 7-year break where I didn't have any restaurants. You know, I have a small percentage in Maker Pizza, and I helped Maker Pizza become what it is. But like, it's not my main focus. You know, getting back into the restaurants and doing that kind of stuff was because of the pandemic. And it brought me to a place where I was like, I want to like serve food. I want to make food and feed people.
Michelle, what's next for you? Are you going to do a cookbook?
Yeah, I actually just signed a contract yesterday.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So yes, I'm now pedal to the metal because it's like, due. Cookbooks are crazy because they're like, yeah, it'll be published in spring 2028. I even doubt that I'm going to be alive then. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that feels so far from now. But it is exciting. As much as like it's a cookbook, it is going to be more about panic attacks and meltdowns because I'm so good at those.
That's a good name for a cookbook.
Well, it's close to that, but I'm not going to reveal the name now.
Okay. If we're still alive, you have an open invitation to come on the show in spring 2028.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll give you a call then. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on now. And then just kind of, you know, same as usual, just food styling and
The home reno.
Oh yeah, I'm doing a huge kitchen now. It's taking over my life.
I've seen that on Instagram. Yeah, complicated.
Yes. Not having a kitchen in your house when you like to cook feels insane. I'm just really excited for this to be over, but we're in the home stretch. So I'd say we're like 8 weeks out and I'm pretty excited about it. It will be a big reveal as well because I don't even know what it's going to really look like once everything kind of comes together. So I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited to see it. Matty, we got to talk about The Bear. I'm having a really hard time with this being the last season. How are you handling it?
I think I was sad, but I think it's like, it's good. I'm very, proud of this show. I'm very happy. The friends that I've gained from this is just unreal. The opportunities that have come from it are just, I never could have imagined. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. It's like 5 years. You're going to like college with these people, it's like this thing of having a show where it's like you spend this amount of time with this amount of people. There's like hundreds of people that make this show and you see them every year for a couple months. And it's like this beautiful thing. And that's the thing I'm going to miss. Like just going to Chicago. I love Chicago. I have such a profound love of that city. It is such a great city. I love it so much. And I'm going to miss Chicago just as much as the people. When I got home, it felt like a breakup or like a thing. And it was this letting go thing. And yeah, we'll be in New York soon to promote it and start doing some stuff like that. Yeah, it's been a wild couple of years.
I'm still not recovered from season 1. I have to be honest. Like that just absolutely freaking killed me. Is season 5 going to kill me?
It's a heater. It definitely has a lot of that season 1 energy. It's going to be fast. I'll say that. It's going to be fast. It's going to be moody. It's going to be bare. People are going to hate it. People are going to love it. And that's what we want. If you're in the middle, you're shit. So I love that people hate us. I love that people love us. Thank you so much. Are we a comedy? Are we a dramedy? Are we a drama? I don't fucking know. We're television. We're art. If you're defined by people defining you, you suck. So buckle up.
That's great. I don't know how you made the transition to acting. I know that you got hired to be a producer and to help out on the culinary side.
Yeah.
How did you make the transition to acting?
Chris Storr was kind enough to offer me a role and wanted me to play Neil Fack.
You were hired for that in addition to the producing.
Yeah. So like when Chris called me and was talking about how, like I've known Chris like 10 years. So he's Courtney Storr's brother.
You knew Courtney before?
Yeah, I've known Courtney for years. I met her long time ago at like Alex's Lemonade Stand event in Philly a long time ago. John Vinny's was like next to me and we hung out all weekend. She's my sister for life. I love her so much. She's incredible. They were like, can you do it? And I was like, I don't know. We'll see. And I think we figured it out. We got there. The first season, it's so funny watching me not, like my first scene ever was like me and Jeremy Allen White friggin' standing in front of Ball Breaker talking about fucking whatever the fuck I was talking about. And it was just like a thing where I was just like we're all outside. We're smoking cigs, hanging, talking, laughing. And then we go inside and they're just like, okay, action. And you're like, what? I did not understand what it was to be prepared. If you're showing up on set, you need to have your lines memorized. You need to have a very strong understanding of the script because they're shooting everything constantly, different things. And so you need to understand context. You need to understand your character. You need to understand all this stuff. I was just like, yo, I'm just trying to I'm just trying to say these lines. I think I found comfortability, and I think everyone embraced. That's the thing. I think the reciprocal, I was trying to help all these actors figure out this cooking thing and get inside that mindset and figure out all this stuff. And I think they were very kind and very giving with what they were giving me for like acting notes and like getting me there. And I think, in the last 5 years, I think I have figured out how to at least understand what the hell I'm doing a little bit. I don't think I'm great at it. I don't think I'm playing a very kind, generous, sweetheart of a character. It's very nice to play in this time of it, like especially in the show where I'm just like this kind, happy little boy in this chaotic little world,
Did Chris write the role with you in mind?
Fack is like somebody that he knows, like Fack was his friend. There is a real life Fack, and he was friends with Zuccaro, like Chris Zuccaro, who owns Mr. Beef, and Chris are like childhood friends, right? Chris and Fack, they've all been friends, I think, literally since like they were kids.
Are you going to keep acting?
Yeah, I've done a couple things. I've done a couple things. I don't necessarily love it. I definitely like producing and making things. My strengths is like getting something over the finish line and like making things and producing. I really enjoy that. Acting is like, has to be the right thing. Also, I'm busy. Acting takes a lot of time. And so like I'm doing a lot of different things. And so it has to really make sense. I'm also like not trying to be famous. And part of this thing of, I think a lot of people want to act to be famous, or they want to act because the art and the beautifulness of it and the vulnerability of it and the pureness of it. But I think there's a lot of people out there that are trying to do this thing. And I'm like, I turn down probably 99% of the things that come my way because time, whatever, but it has to make sense, and it has to be, and also like has to make sense for them. Like I've done like self tapes for like Happy Gilmore 2 and like all these like stupid, like I've done a ton of like these self tapes and things. And, I've auditioned a bunch for things and don't get them as well. I'm not trying to act like I'm just sitting over here getting offers and turning everything down. It is like a thing where I'm happy that I'm in a position where I'm almost indifferent if I do get a job sometimes.
Matty, given your restaurant experience, if you weren't in the Bear, would you have been able to watch the Bear? Because there are a lot of chefs who find it too real.
I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV. Trish makes me watch it. If Trish didn't make me watch it, I probably wouldn't watch it. To be honest, like I don't watch any TV. I don't watch a lot of television. That's not part of my DNA, is sitting at home watching TV. I do not binge watch. I do not sit around for hours at a time watching things.
Did Trish make you watch Heated Rivalry?
No, I've not seen that.
What?
I don't watch TV. I don't I think the last thing I watched was like The Mayor of Easttown. I saw Ozarks. Like I've never seen like Breaking Bad. I've never seen The Wire. I think I grew up in a house where we didn't watch a lot of television. I don't watch movies on airplanes. I don't do, like, I'm one of those guys.
What do you do on an airplane?
Listen to music and try to sleep and be calm. That's my alone time, I find. I take that and I just kind of just relax and chill and vegetate on that plane and just be there.
Michelle, you laughed when I said Heated Rivalry.
I can't imagine Matty watching Heated Rivalry. Actually, I bet you'd like it. I bet you'd actually like really like it.
I like gay dudes way more than hockey, so yeah. I don't really like hockey.
But wait, you have a thing called rink drink. What's that?
Rink drink is because that's the thing, is like that was based off going to a hockey rink with my grandfather, having those memories of drinking just pure cups of coffee. But I never played hockey. I've never ice skated in my life. I don't know. I feel like I'm the only Canadian. I don't know. I've never had a pair of ice skates on my feet. I've never ice skated. I'm not a big sports guy to begin with, but I love the fact that Heated Rivalry blew up the way that it did, because I think that's a beautiful thing and a beautiful story. I don't even know if Trish watched it, really. I don't even know. She's like more like true crime. She's just watching, she likes those true crime
People
things.
People love true crime. All right, I'm going to do a speed round with you guys. Michelle, what beverage do you start your day with?
Coffee, black.
I drink a large cup of water first and then a cup of coffee with cream. I drink literally like rink drink. I drink like Folgers, but I'm a table cream. I like a little table cream in there,
What's a favorite cookbook, Michelle?
I have so many that it's hard to choose one. I'd say Claire Saffit's Dessert Person kind of really like took my baking from one level to the next. So I'll say that.
This is my favorite book right here. This is Paul Bocuse, La Cuisine de Marché. And I was very lucky enough. I got my nephew's girlfriend. Her father was like the executive chef at like the Ritz-Carlton in Toronto way back in the 70s and 80s. And he got, for Christmas, she gave me a signed copy to her grandfather. It's a first edition. It's a crazy book to have. And like, that was like something very special that I thought was a beautiful thing. But Bocuse is like, I don't know. I like all that old French stuff. There's so many cookbooks. It is a funny thing. Like, I remember thinking like nobody got it, only like Daniel Boulou or like these chefs had these cookbooks, but nobody else had cookbooks. And now everybody's got cookbooks, which I think is a beautiful thing.
What's your most used kitchen tool, Michelle? I know you don't have a kitchen right now, but what would it be?
An offset spatula. I find that I'm always like reaching for that, even if it's not appropriate. I feel like I still just kind of like use it for whatever.
Honestly, I think this is going to be a hot take, but nobody ever says this. Straight up, just a fridge. Just my fridge.
What is always in your fridge, Michelle?
Cottage cheese.
Wait, I watched your cottage cheese rant.
The other thing is that the cottage cheese in the States is way better than the cottage cheese in Canada. So I just went to New York and I literally brought back like 4 tubs of cottage cheese because it's thicker and there's
because they can have a higher fat content. Their sour cream's different than our sour cream. All their dairy is a different fat content. They're allowed to have higher fat content. So it's very Trisha, like every time we go to Buffalo, I have to get sour cream for Trish.
We do need to make clear you are not one of these bandwagon cottage cheese girlies.
I'm eating it because I love cottage cheese. I'm not one person who is like drinking soy milk or almond milk or oat milk and then all of a sudden like eating cottage cheese when I've turned my back on dairy for my whole, like I'm a dairy girl and I eat cottage cheese because I like it, not because it's high in protein. And that's great that it is, but I like it.
Matty, what's always in your fridge? I mean, you have kids. Your fridge is probably packed. I feel like all my kids love eating like pepperettes.
What's a pepperette?
Like a hot rod.
Like a pepperoni stick, like a pepperette.
Oh, okay. It's the first time I ever heard of a pepperette.
Really? Like some little salamis, like little supersats, but they're like pepperettes.
A little supersat. We've got meat sticks and like jerky, but I don't think I've ever seen one of those. Okay, I'm going to look for it. Pepperette. What are you guys streaming or reading right now?
I'm reading All Fours.
Oh, so good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's insane. I am watching DTF St. Louis.
Best show. That's the show that I watched. I watched that show. That show rules.
It's so good. I'm like binging it. We're halfway through. We started it last night.
That's the best show going right now. And it's like DTF St. Louis is so fucking good. The characters are so good. It's the best thing Bateman's done in a long time. It's a eater. It's not for everybody, but it is like an incredibly written. The characters are incredibly written, and it's like an incredible show.
Okay, you guys sold me. Matty, you're a music guy. What are you listening to?
I'm so all over the place. Salem just put out a new album, which I'm listening to. I'm listening to Salem, Caroline, this band called Caroline. They're amazing. So I'm listening to New Salem, New Caroline. You're based in New York, so shout out to Combust. I love Combust. Karate. I've been listening to like a lot of like 90s emo stuff. So Karate. I love Karate. I love Elliot. I listen to a lot of Elliot. Chrissy Front Drive. I listen to the same music I listened to in high school. I add things, but I'm like, I still listen to the same emo, hardcore, same crap. And then, throw some, Grateful Dead in there, throw some country in there, throw some crap in. I still, no matter what, it's always like hardcore, emo, and all that kind of stuff is like the one consistent thing in my life that I do listen to constantly.
What's your favorite food film?
Honestly, like I think Burnt is fire. I thought that was great. Babette's Feast or some shit, but I'm like, I don't fucking know. I feel like I watched that in like AV class in high school, but I don't know. I'm just like, Burnt was tight. Burnt genuinely felt very real and was good, and just throwing handfuls of salt in there, just ruining the chef's life. I definitely wouldn't watch something because it's industry focused or something like that, to be honest.
Michelle?
A really old one. I always get the name wrong, but it's like The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, Her Lover. So great. So weird. so surreal. So if you like old movies, I would say go watch that one.
I haven't seen that in ages. I need to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never even seen like Big Night. You know, I have never seen Big Night. I've never seen
another great one.
I think I've missed a lot because I just don't consume. You can catch me outside. I'm an outside cat. You know, that's the thing. I've been outside a long time. Outside, we ain't watching TV. We're running the streets. We're getting wild. And I think that's just more of who I am. I ain't on the couch sitting back watching other people do stuff. That's for sure.
You are a doer. That is established. Okay, last question. If you had to be trapped on a desert island with one food celebrity, who would it be and why? And you can't say each other.
Nigella.
Tell us why Nigella.
I think it answers itself. What? I don't know. If I was on a desert island with just one person, it would be Nigella, I'd say. But I don't. I mean that in the nicest way. But
I would love to be stuck with Nigella too. But I would say Ina. She's legendary. She always wants to party too. So I think that she'd be really resourceful. I also read her book recently, and I just want to say that it surprised me. I didn't realize that she was so amazing, that she really is an incredible woman. So I'm going with Ina.
All right. Good answers, both of you. Thank you two so much. I loved watching your show. It made me so happy. It made me want to get in the kitchen, which obviously is the whole point of the show. Matty, I forgot to tell you, Courtney Coco is on one of our covers coming out in June.
Oh, I love that.
We haven't announced the covers yet, but we'll send you one when that comes out.
She deserves her flowers. She is a hardworking badass. She is so incredible.
She's great. Well, so are you two. Thank you for your time. And it was great to see you both and chat.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
That's it for today's show. Thank you to Matty Matheson and Michelle Rabin of Just a Dash on Netflix for joining me. Our theme song is by the band Cha La La. Joseph Hazen is a studio engineer at Newsstand Studios. Our producers are Catherine Baker and Jenna Sadu. Our executive assistant is Bridget Pittman. And our head of partnerships is Rachel Close. Thanks for listening, everybody. You're the bomb.